path from being a natural coach to being a professional master coach includes these 5 stages that we call the 5 quadrants, and they layer on top of each other. So let's make sure that each of your stages and quadrants are nice and solid so that you can turn your natural coaching skills and talents into professional master coaching. The first stage I call checking and clarity. This is where you're checking to see that you know what life coaching is, executive coaching, business coaching. It can seem really confusing to know because there is ICF, International Coaching Federation, standards and definitions. And there's also a lot of folks out there just calling themselves a coach when they're giving advice, mentoring, and training. So making sure that you know the difference between training, mentoring, coaching, therapy, consulting, and also knowing that a lot of folks blend the two. So you get what we might call pure ICF coaching, and you might also want to consider that there is blended coaching, where you are taking one hat off and putting on another hat to provide a specific, perhaps unique kind of service. I also think it's important to understand the benchmarks, the credentialing levels, and the ICF credentialing path can be really helpful. ACC, Associate Credentialed Coach, Certified Coach, PCC, which is professional level, and MCC, which is master level. These can inspire you as milestones. Even if you don't intend to get ICF credentialing, they still provide a helpful map so that you can challenge and inspire yourself to go for master levels, because that's where we have the potential to really change lives. During this phase, you also want to be checking in if this is your path. Is coaching a part of your purpose? I always say that our purpose is not so much something we are meant to do, but it's more an expression of who we naturally truly are. An apple tree's purpose is to be an apple tree. All doing is shared from that natural, authentic being. Now, how we know whether something belongs to our apple tree purpose is that it feels natural. As natural as an apple tree making apples. It also brings us a sense of energy, as if the sap rises in the apple tree when it's being true to itself. And if you asked yourself, if you were free of needing to earn an income, if you had time freedom, financial freedom, what role would you naturally play in a community? What role do you normally, naturally fit into? Are you the person that holds spaces, that wants to facilitate growth, progress, that loves inspiring? In fact, are you inspired to inspire? Are you a natural guide? If that resonates, then you can probably tick off the box of this belongs to your purpose. Once you're on the path, it's about acquiring confidence through competencies, actually learning how to coach. Please don't make the mistake of choosing a niche too soon. I see a lot of coaches at this point in the journey being told that they need to niche down. They need to pick a specialty and they need to choose a course and a certification and choose competencies around that specialty. This is severely limiting, and most of the time it's premature. If you were learning to become a master chef, you would probably want to first experiment with many different kinds of styles of cuisine, learn many recipes, and then the natural niche or specialty would ultimately arise. Your niche comes later, and the basic competencies are universal. In other words, you want the kinds of confidence and competencies to coach anyone, anywhere, on any topic. So please unniche yourself. Rather acquire the kinds of ICF core competencies that are truly flexible, that can apply to life coaching, business coaching, relationship coaching, enneagram coaching, executive coaching, etc. While you're growing in confidence and competencies, you're going into the next very important stage, the quadrant of credible certification. To certify or not to certify, I highly recommend an ICF accredited program. So the ICF, the International Coaching Federation, have accredited programs around the world, and this accreditation is not superficial. They audit everything from the faculty to the company's policies and procedures, assessment processes, all of the coaching course materials, etc. When InnerLifeSkills got their ACTP, which is Accredited Coach Training Program, we were among very few, relatively speaking, in the world to have it. Your clients are looking for credible certification, especially in the executive coaching space, but even in the life coaching space, our clients are becoming far more discerning. And beyond the credibility factor and the client attracting factor of having credible certification, it's your own sense of you know what you're doing. So look for an ICF ACTP program. There are also ICF approved coach specific training hours, which is an option. But the first prize is to complete a full ACTP program, because that's a fast track with the ICF later if you choose to get credentialed. How much time should you put into coach certification? I believe that 20 hours of quality ACTP program training is enough to get you going. That's enough to start you coaching. It's a little bit like learning to play guitar. This would give you enough to go sit around a campfire and start singing with your friends and have perhaps 2 or 3 little songs that are basic, but hey, enough to get a campfire song going. In other words, from around 20 hours of training, you can start applying coaching in your life. You can actually use your skills and competencies and then grow from there. To consider yourself coaching at a professional level, along with making sure you've got all the right competencies and the practice, and you've been observed as a coach, you've got mentor hours, which are also very important. 60 hours of coaching is usually about the right amount to make sure that you have enough training to be professional, to either charge if you're wanting to charge for your coaching, or to start putting it on your CV and making it a part of your existing work as a manager, as a psychologist, as a consultant, etc. How much does it take to consider yourself as a master coach? Well, the ICF guidelines are around 200 hours, which I agree with entirely. But anything over 125 hours is going to start really grounding your skills. Now you move into the 4th critical phase of your journey. And this one, a lot of folks skip. They've got their credible certification and then they get stuck. They get pigeonholed into very one-dimensional coaching. I want to make sure that you don't do that. To really succeed in today's world, you need to be able to creatively customize your coaching for the person in front of you. Not only to make sure that you have several niches running, especially while you're experimenting, learning, and growing, but also to become your client's go-to coach, because you have the kinds of flexible skills and the comprehensive toolbox to keep creating new coaching experiences. Imagine being a chef and only having 2 or 3 recipes, or being a musician and only having a repertoire of a handful of songs. You want to have a lot of creative freedom here. That's your road to mastery. You can adapt your coaching easily without effort, and therefore you become your client's go-to coach. When they say to you, gee, I know we've just done some coaching around my financial goals, but I'm having this relationship challenge. Can we coach there as well? And you can say, absolutely. With these 4 quadrants in place, the 5th one naturally arises. Because if you're planning to have a coaching business, this is all about clients and cash flow. What breaks my heart is if coaches go get certification, but their toolboxes are limited. They've boxed themselves into a niche. They haven't unniched themselves. And then they struggle to find clients, or they have a couple of clients that come for one-off sessions and don't turn into long-term clients because they don't have the kinds of toolboxes. It's like, you've sung one song for me, got no more songs, thanks, we're done, off we go. Now, this is not about creating dependency. You want to actually empower your clients to reach their goals, but clients have multi-dimensional levels of dreams and goals and obstacles to overcome in their lives and things that they want to change. And once they realize that you can be that safe space, that they can come up with aha moments and shift their inner obstacles and move forward in their lives, it's possible to become somebody's go-to coach. My tips for this phase is that you leave the shop window to last. This is when marketing becomes important. Once you've had enough experience to know what specialties you really care about, who your ideal client is, now you start building a shop window, because the shop window is the place that we show our most attractive, most in-demand services. So with digital marketing especially, that's when you want to pick a niche for your shop window. Once somebody has a conversation with you, they've come into the store, let them see what else you have to offer. But for marketing purposes, you need to niche. Many of my top master coaches have never niched because they've never needed shop windows. If you get what I've said right, and you learn to have what I call sticky conversations, where you find out what the client in front of you needs, and then you co-create and custom build the coaching journey for that person to meet their needs, you become that go-to coach. They're so impressed, they refer friends and colleagues to you, and business grows very naturally. And of course, my final tip is aim to serve at the highest. Go for master coaching levels, because that's where we truly do serve people at the highest level.